Because every cent we waste on a carbon tax, which will make, on any view, no difference to the climate of the planet at all, is a cent that we can't spend on what Australia has so generously shown herself as being willing to do before. There are people, children in Africa, who are starving, who don't have education, they don't have healthcare, they don't have any of the goods and benefits of life that we are used to. And we could and should be helping them. And we can't help them if we help Julia Gillard to bring in some sort of totalitarian regime that destroys the freedom of Australia without benefiting the planet. So the message, Julia darling, is that you are destroying your own country. You are destroying your workers. You are destroying the families of Australia. You are destroying the hopes of Australia. You are destroying the future of Australia. And will we allow that? No! I didn't think so. No. Because if this carbon tax goes through, then it's bye-bye Australia. That's right. It's been nice to know you. Yes. But you will become just another third world banana monarchy without even any bananas, looking at the prices they've been charging for those in your supermarkets recently. Yes. So the fact is, I have a message for all of the political class of Australia. Ditch the witch! Yes. Well, not for me to say that. Yes. What I will say is this, that Kevin Rudd 2 years ago devoted an entire 45-minute televised lecture to a personal attack on me. Yeah. And we hadn't even met. So I came out to Australia in January a year ago to exercise my right of reply. And where is Rudd now? So a message for Julia, you're next. Now, it would not be right for me to hold on to this microphone for too long. So what I'm going to say is this, that Australia is a great country. I love Australia to bits. People of Australia, I love you. And I want to see your nation flourish in the Commonwealth, flourish under Her Majesty the Queen. And I want to hear 3 cheers for Her Majesty the Queen. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And I want to hear 3 cheers for Australia. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hooray! So I end by saying these 3 heartfelt words with feeling and with gratitude. God bless Australia.
Stay there a minute, I've got a question for you. Now, Julia Gillard has said that she will introduce a carbon dioxide tax. She has said that she will introduce in 2015 a carbon dioxide trading scheme. That is really a tax plus a rationing scheme. So we'll have 2 taxes and a rationing scheme. One thing I've asked Viscount Monckton to hang back and discuss just briefly is, can you please explain to everyone how these are stepped up? They're started with a low price. That's right. Yes. And they're given compensation. And no one feels anything. Yeah, right. But Julia Gillard has said herself that the objective of these things is to cause pain. Her words, to cause pain, to change behaviour. Can you explain how these are stepped up and where it's heading?
In the European dictatorship, which is not a democracy, It's run by unelected commissars. We in Britain, who are no longer a free country as you are, we were told we had to have carbon trading. Now this is known on the London market to the boys in red braces as trading hot air. They have at last discovered a way to tax the air we breathe. And let me tell you our experience of carbon trading. When it began, all the nations of Europe awarded themselves more right to emit carbon dioxide than they were emitting already. Result, the price of carbon on the London market fell to zero. That was the market clearing price. Not much of a disincentive to emit carbon dioxide there. So then, exactly as you've just heard, along came the commissars and they said, right, we are going to tighten the number of permits that every country can have, and we're going to push up the base price, and so you're all going to have to pay more. And electricity prices in the United Kingdom have doubled as a direct result. Has this made any difference to the climate? No, it has not. But pensioners, old people, sick people are dying all over Britain every winter because they cannot afford to turn the heating on. So then the next stage was they said, right, now we're going to count the number of trades and see how they're going. So the auditors came in and they found that 95% of all carbon trades on the carbon exchange of Europe were fraudulent trades. Because a carbon trading system is a fraudulent system. You're trading something that doesn't need to be traded. It's a naturally occurring trace gas, and if you want to make the planet greener, if you really do believe in greening the planet, then what you do is you add more carbon dioxide to the air because it's plant food and it's tree food. But no, they said what we're going to do is, they said, we are going to have this carbon which became an entirely fraudulent system. It was and is a fraud. And then, for the third time, just last week, the price of carbon dioxide trading collapsed to zero, on, very near it, on the European carbon trading market. And the point is that even if you introduce this
We'll wait! We've got to hear what
We'll wait! Hey, that's a bullhorn!
I hope the microphones break down tomorrow when Gillard give us your dribble. Cut off the power.
Here we go. Right. You've got power again.
Is that working? Yes, it is. Hooray! So, as I said at the outset, I'm back. So our experience of carbon trading in Europe is that it has failed once, it's failed twice, it's failed 3 times, it's failed 4 times, and has it made any difference whatsoever to the amount of carbon dioxide that we emit? No, it has not. It has hurt the poor people of Europe, it has hurt the sick people of Europe, it has hurt the businesses of Europe, it is driving businesses overseas. Because here's the thing, your nearest competitors here in this country, the biggest competitors in this region are China.
India.
Now China is a communist country, just like the sort of country certain politicians here seem to wish to turn Australia into. Do we want Australia to become a communist country? Well, in that case, we'd better be rather careful not to introduce a carbon tax. Because if you do, then all you will do is increase the disadvantage that your businesses already have when trying to compete with China. Because China pays, I'm going to use the technical scientific term for this, China pays shit wages. China treats her people with contempt, doesn't provide disability benefits, doesn't provide welfare benefits, doesn't provide unemployment benefits, doesn't provide health benefits. These are costs which we in the West rightly endure, because it's not fair to our workers that we should not endure them. So already we are at a disadvantage against communist China in doing any kind of business, particularly manufacturing business. So the last thing you want to do here in Australia is to increase the difficulty and the disadvantage that you already have when trading with China. It is senseless. And if you, and all that's going to happen is what is already beginning to happen in West Australia, where I've just come from, and more and more and more of Western Australia is being bought up by the Chinese. And why? Because in Western Australia they're so busy preparing to pay for the mineral resources rent tax and the carbon tax. They know they can't afford to keep their businesses going. I was speaking to a mining company executive just the other day, and he said, look, I'm just about to develop one of the biggest coal fields in the world. In order to do that, I've got to sell quite a lot of my other mining interests. Who to? To China. Why? Because your government hates your mining industry. The reason why this tax is being introduced, plus the rent tax on top, is that there are certain politicians on the left who do not want those mining industries to support the parties of the centre-right financially. That is what this is really all about. It has nothing to do with the planet, because most other countries on the planet have woken up to the fact that a few mad, bad scientists had decided that they were going to try and sick this scare onto us so that they could get fatter grants and more television interviews. So, to the bogus scientists who have produced the bogus science that invented this bogus scare, I say, we are coming after you, we are going to prosecute you, and we are going to lock you up.
Thank you. Now you know why I asked him to stay. But I have a gift for him. We just found out why the power went a minute ago to interrupt this man from speaking. Close, close. The power plug was pulled and this was left. So there's a gift as a reminder. Now I ask you a question. Why do they want to stop this man from speaking? Why did the same organisation chase the Broncos to stop him from speaking? Why is the ABC avoiding him? Why does the ABC contact me looking for scientists to talk to, and then when I send them to the scientists, all they do is muckrake, not discuss the science, just try and find dirt. So they're shutting down our mining industry to mine muck. And that's your money going to spend on the ABC. Why are they afraid? Because it's control. And underneath control there is fear. Fear that you will think. Our next speaker.
So they thought that they could silence me by trying to pull the plug. Well, let's get this clear. What they're really trying to do is pull the plug on Australia herself. Will we let them? Will we let them? Will we let them? Now let me say this about this so-called Get Up organisation. I have asked a few questions about it. It was funded with $1 million from one of the most prominent trade unions that also funds the Labour Party. What we have here is naked left-wing political interference in the right of somebody who was invited to your country to speak freely at various venues all around the country.